Former President Thabo Mbeki turns 80 today, and to celebrate this milestone birthday, the Thabo Mbeki Foundation is holding a gala dinner at the Sandton Convention Centre. Guests will include former heads of state and business and other leaders. eNCA anchor Dan Moyane and senior reporter Siphamandla Goge are there and give us an update now as we build up to those festivities. Gentlemen, good evening. So I can tell that you are now inside the main venue there, Braden, where it will all be happening. The Thabo Mbeki presidency was between 1999 and 2008, but that's just a part and a fraction of the life of this man. I imagine that there'll be lots of reflection about his other, contributions to public life in South Africa.
Indeed, Chulasizo, you are correct. I mean, a life of 8 decades. It's a long life. And where do you start? Where do you focus? However, the focus tonight is on the celebration. It's on the celebration here inside the Sandton Convention Centre where we are. Already the preparations are underway. The stage literally is set. Just a short while ago, there were African sounds coming out from this stage. Many people might know, others might not know, that former President Thabo Mbeki is a lover of jazz. He's a lover of African jazz. In fact, the last time I saw him inside this venue was in 2019 during the Standard Back Joy of Jazz, the last edition before the pandemic hit all of us. And he arrived during one of the performances by local South African jazz artists. And he got an applause as he walked into this big place. But today, everybody will be in here to applaud him from about 7 o'clock. And to applaud his contribution, his ongoing contribution to public life, not just in South Africa, but also in the rest of the continent. We all know he's a staunch Pan-Africanist. He's the man who's been leading for years, even during his presidency from 1999 to 2008, African Renaissance. The project of renewal for the continent still continues today under him, under the Thabo Mbeki Foundation. Now, having said that, we understand that there are a number of projects that the foundation is doing. And then tonight, from what we know, the speakers are going to be focused. We'll have somebody from the Board of Trustees. I understand Geraldine Fraser-Moleketi, a former cabinet minister here under the Thabo Mbeki presidency, will be speaking. I understand that Togo Didiza, also a former minister, she's also involved with the foundation, will be speaking here. Not a long list of speakers. It's going to be short and sweet and tight and focused. I spoke a short while ago to Lupin Aisa, the spokesperson for the Thabo Mbeki Foundation, before our crossing. He said the main focus tonight is not the speeches. It's a celebration of 8 decades of life of Thabo Mbeki. So that's what we're going to see here from about 7 o'clock. The tables are set, as you can see. The stage, as you saw a short while ago, is set. We are ready. But outside this venue, inside this Sandton Convention Centre, there's a number of beautiful exhibitions that are aligned with the African Renaissance message, the project of Thabo Mbeki. My colleague Siphamandla Goge is standing by now. He's going to be taking our viewers through some of the exhibits that are outside the venue. Siphamandla, over to you.
Well, a milestone indeed, celebrating 80 years. That is a milestone, despite the fact that there were no guarantees that the former president will reach this milestone. If you look at his public life from an early age, he's been contributing to the liberation struggle of ensuring that South Africa is free and, going all the way to becoming one of the well-respected statesmen in the continent and across the world. So today is not about political speeches, it's mainly about celebrating this milestone. 8 years of existence, that's what it means for former President Thabo Mbeki. Even though he would have liked to downplay this, you get a sense and the tone of that by the program. Only about 4 to 5 speakers. I'm told that all of them had just 5 minutes or lesser to speak, nothing more, including former President Thabo Mbeki himself. He has said this is just a celebration, not too much political speeches. So we are waiting for the dignitaries to arrive. The red carpet is set, it's been rolled. So Joe Komane will show you that it's all systems go really. We're just waiting for former President Thabo Mbeki's guests to come and celebrate with him this milestone of 8 years. Outside this birthday venue or gala dinner venue, if we can call it that, it's what is in line, and associated with former President Thabo Mbeki. There is quite a display here in terms of his public life and everything. You just will get a sense now as Joe Komane will show you the displays that have been set up here. And these are some of the pictures of former President Thabo Mbeki and his family members, those that have worked with him, those that have shared public and private spaces with him. And it's just a display here. Like we are in the museum. We'll just take a walk down there, and I want to show you something that many people would want to see once it's been completed, how it will look like. The former President Thabo Mbeki's presidential library project. Those who know former President Thabo Mbeki will tell you that the design of this resembles what is known in Timbuktu, the heritage, cultural heritage, literature, and former President Thabo Mbeki being a Pan-Africanist. You get a sense of this presidential library project. But the man who knows about this project is Luka Nyoniere. He will talk to us about this. Baba, thank you very much for your time. Let's talk about this milestone. Former President Thabo Mbeki celebrating 8 years. It's not a day of too many speeches, but as someone who works with him and who is trying to ensure that this dream of this presidential library comes into, existence, how can you describe him, having known him and working with him?
Sure. It's a difficult question. You're asking a 31-year-old how knowing an 8-year-old. But obviously he is everything that people know him to be. Someone who is truly committed to the African continent. Someone who is committed to ensuring that the lives of ordinary South Africans and ordinary Africans are improved and the continent develops. And so that really has been both what I've heard about him before, but also has become quite evident in interacting in the very little that I get to.
Ever since his recall, he's been involved in public life, doing other things, including the Thabo Mbeki Foundation. There is this presidential library project. Talk to us about it. What do you hope to achieve? And also, knowing him, it's not about him. This presidential library project will basically cover and deal with too many African leaders, business people, politicians, and just eminent persons in the continent. But talk to us about this project.
Sure, but it's important to understand this project in the context of the foundation's mission. The very essence of the foundation is catalyzing the renewal of the continent. And so this project, the Thabo Mbeki Presidential Library, falls after another flagship program, which is the Thabo Mbeki African School for Public and International Affairs. This one is really interested in how you tell the story of Africa's development and liberation through the perspective of both historical and contemporary leaders like President Mbeki, President Nyerere, President Nkrumah, and multiple others. In the end, we want to tell a comprehensive story of Africa's development and liberation through the perspective of these multiple different leaders.
Okay, thank you very much for time, Baba. We'll catch up with you later on once the program starts. That is Luka Nyoniere. He is the one responsible for the former President Thabo Mbeki's presidential library project.
All right, Siphamandla Goge there and eNCA's Dan Moyane building up to the celebrations of former President Thabo Mbeki's 80th birthday, and that's taking place at the Sandton Convention Centre. Do stand by for more updates from them, as well as when the event does get underway. We are told that there won't be long speeches. It is really about the celebration, as Braden and Siphamandla have been telling you.